Go.
Go.
Yeah, let's start, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the Big and Stuff podcast. It's Greg. That's Logan. How you doing, man?
It's good, dude. We're on episode 2.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely sick.
So we've got a little bit of a theme to the episode today.
Yep.
But before we get into that, I did want to talk a little bit about the new Resident Evil show on Netflix.
Sure.
I started watching that last night. Got through the first 2 episodes.
Not loving it?
It's weird. It's very weird.
How so?
So you've played some of the games, right?
I played 1, 2, and 3, and then part of 4.
Okay, so it's split between 2 timelines.
Okay.
One of them is like present day, 2022.
Yeah.
And then the other is like in the future, like 2036 or something. And the 2036 timeline is like the world has already ended and it's like post-apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 2022 timeline shows like how that started.
Okay.
And so it kind of cuts back and forth between both timelines of the show. But it's about Albert Wesker's daughter, which I was very confused about. So I didn't think he had one.
Yeah.
Also, the portrayal of Albert Wesker is really weird. He's played by Lance Reddick, who you will remember as the concierge from John Wick.
Oh, yeah.
That works at the Continental Hotel.
Yep.
Yeah, so personally I think the casting is honestly pretty spot on. I know a lot of people get weird and pissy whenever there's a race change between the original version and whatever actor is portraying them.
Right.
But honestly I think he's a pretty good choice for Wesker. He's got a very good
I like
commanding
him
presence
as
to
an
him.
actor too.
Yeah,
I feel like he would do a good job.
My problem isn't with him necessarily being the guy playing Wesker. It's the way they're portraying Wesker is like very weird compared to how
he is in the
games. Yeah. He's like a nice guy. He's got a family. He's got 2 kids, and like he works at Umbrella, but he's like talking to the CEO, and he's like concerned about side effects in the product. And I'm like,
that's not him at
Wesker
all.
would be like, yeah, up those side effects up, baby.
Yeah, honestly.
So that's really weird. And then also the 2022 timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm only 2 episodes in, so
sure.
I don't. I'm sure it'll get more exciting as we progress. But the first episode, at the very least, is like. I haven't seen Euphoria, but it makes me think of like that's probably what Euphoria is like. It's just like high school kids being mean to each other and like,
damn,
and like getting into drama. And I'm like, this is Resident Evil. What's going on here? It's very strange. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a ton.
How do the monsters look?
Pretty good. They've got so far I've seen a couple of different things, mostly just zombies, but the practical makeup on the zombies is pretty solid. They do this cool effect in the first episode where it's like a ring around the main character's like campsite where they're hanging out inside the apocalypse area.
Yeah.
And then it's got like, it's a series of poles around it. And I guess it's a motion detector. So whenever anything goes in, it just lights the whole area on fire.
Damn.
And so you get a bunch of zombies like melting. And I don't know if it was practical or if it was just really good CGI.
Yeah.
But it's very cool to see all those zombies like melting and stuff. And also there's like a giant caterpillar monster, which is very Resident Evil 1.
I've seen that in the trailers for it.
Yeah, and then I think there's like the dogs too, the classic dogs that are your favorite enemy.
I eat the dogs, bro.
Yeah, so it's a little weird. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm gonna have to finish it before I try to give my real thoughts on it, but I just wanted to touch on that because that's a new thing that's out, and I guess we got to keep on top of stuff that's out.
Yeah,
Speaking of video game adaptations on Netflix, you started Castlevania.
I did.
You've seen like the first season 3 times or something.
This is the 3rd time I've watched the first season, and again, I like the first season.
Did you just watch the first season? You didn't get into 2 at all?
Yeah, I was gonna watch some more last night, but it ended up playing.
The first season, if you don't know, was only 4 episodes. So it's not like,
and they're all like 23-minute long episodes, so it's really easy.
It's a movie essentially,
basically. But it was good. I liked it.
You have to get into season 2 because season 2 slaps.
I'll start watching season 2 tonight.
That's probably my favorite video game adaptation.
Really?
Like, video game to another medium adaptation, because it's not a movie, but it's an animated series. So good though. Like honestly, I have not even played the games, but I love this show. Is how good of an adaptation it is.
Seriously.
The people who have played the games also like it. So
dang.
Yeah, it makes me want to play the games.
Wow. Well, I'm liking it. I'll start season 2 tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, toss it onto the old backlog.
Yeah, but that's
1,000 shows on there.
That's closer to the front of my backlog than towards the back.
True enough. All right, man. So
you ready?
Yeah, I think we should get into it. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. You want to go ahead and pull mine up then?
Yeah.
So what we're doing is, well, he figures it out. We're doing 3x3 boards for movies. So if you don't know what that is, it's essentially just
Oh.
this is it. This is my 3x3 board. No.
Dang, it deleted. It went away, bro.
Well, just open up your pictures that's in title.
Yeah.
I'll stall for time a little bit longer. So,
Oh,
3x3 board. Yeah, this is 9 movies.
Oh, yeah,
Not
very
necessarily the
classic.
best movies, but this is just movies that I feel give the best representation of my taste in films. This is the type of shit that I'm into. So, just by looking at it, you should be able to get a good gauge on the types of movies I like. So, for any audio-only listeners, I'll read them out for you. We got Big Trouble in Little China, The Big Lebowski, Wayne's World, Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, Spider-Man 2, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Pulp Fiction, Blade Runner 2049, and Back to the Future. What do you think?
Dude, I almost put that movie and that movie onto my list. Oh.
The Big Lebowski and Blade Runner?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's an absolutely phenomenal list. I kind of guessed you'd put that in there. I wasn't sure if you would put episode 2 or episode 3 in there.
No, I'm not putting episode 2 in there. I'm a big defender of the prequels. I enjoy them, but episode 2 is not going on there.
Yeah, okay. This is pretty classic. I could have guessed that.
Just pointing at the screen and going, this, rip off the listeners.
I forgot I said we were going to try to put this up there.
Yeah, we're thinking about putting it on Spotify, so if you're listening on Spotify, appreciate you. We got a new microphone.
If you're
got a blue Yeti going here.
Video watcher, you can see it.
Yeah, our sound quality will be a lot better than it was last time when we were just using the camera's mic.
We also lost the squeaky chair, so there won't be any.
Oh yeah, big improvements.
Yeah.
Big improvements. There's a little bit of a change up to the set. This is not the final set that we were talking about last episode, by the way.
Yeah, we've got a good set upcoming. Maybe next week.
Hopefully next week.
Hell yeah, that would be sick.
But we just set it up like this because Logan is too lazy to do this in editing.
Yep.
Just have it in the background.
Spider-Man 2, I kind of guessed you would put on there. Wayne's World, another awesome movie. All of these movies could have ended up on my list.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried. We have not seen each other's lists.
Yeah.
So we're reacting to each other's for the first time. I was a little bit worried that we'd have some of the same choices.
So was I. Luckily, we do not have any of the same choices.
Hell yeah.
So, would you have any movies you want to talk about in particular, dude?
Yeah. So I think, man, if I had to pick a favorite movie, it would probably be Big Trouble in Little China.
I knew it. Yeah.
I really like Kurt Russell, and I really like just the whole sense of humor in that movie.
Yeah.
All 3 of those top rows I feel like are very representative of my sense of humor. I think those movies kind of helped kind of form my taste in comedy and movies. Yeah. And then the middle row, I don't know, I was going to do a theme with each row. I was like, okay, so the top row is going to be stuff that's like my taste in comedy, and then the second one's going to be like action. But then time I got to the third row, I was like, fuck, what are 3 more movies that I like? So I just picked some. And I think
it's awesome, dude. It's a great list.
Back to the Future, honestly, all of these except for the ones that are newer, obviously. So I guess just Blade Runner is newer, and like The Big Lebowski, I wouldn't have seen until I was older.
Right.
But the rest of these, and Pulp Fiction as well.
Yeah.
Are all movies that I grew up watching a ton of when I was a kid. So, Back to the Future, Star Wars Episode 3, Spider-Man, Terminator. I don't know how I was allowed to watch Terminator.
Yeah, that movie's a little gnarly for a young kid.
Oh, it's fantastic though. I love the interplay between young John Connors and the Terminator.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why it's my favorite movie, is because I really enjoy the good Terminator.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I think Arnold is great in that movie.
Yeah. I really like the Terminator movies. I would like to rewatch them. I almost bought a complete set the other day on Amazon for Prime Day.
It's too bad most of those movies aren't very good.
I know. That's why I was like,
I like the first two.
Yep.
3 is okay, and the rest are pretty much bad.
yeah, that's partially why I did not get it, because I was like, I'm only gonna watch maybe 2 of these.
Yeah, it's too bad. I haven't even seen the newest 2. I haven't seen Genesis or Dark Fate, Dark Future.
Dark Fate.
I haven't seen either of those because I heard they were bad, so I just never watched them.
I watched Genesis, and it was not that good. I have not watched Dark Fate. But I have also heard
Genesis did some weird thing where they made John Connor a Terminator, right?
Yeah, and like they did something with the timeline too, and they like it was a weird movie. It was a weird movie, but I have only seen it once, and it was a long time ago.
That's got Daenerys in it, right? What's the name of the actress?
Emilia Clarke.
That's it. Yeah. Is there anything on there that surprises you or that you would disagree with?
Not necessarily disagree with. I will say Pulp Fiction surprises me a little bit.
Really?
I mean, it's a good movie. I really like it. I didn't think it would end up on your list.
I've seen it a bunch of times. I bought the Steelbook.
Oh.
I think I got it at like Best Buy or something. Best Buy, shout out to Best Buy, has a great selection of Steelbooks if you're looking to collect Steelbooks.
They have awesome Steelbooks.
Yeah, but I bought the Steelbook for it. I think the first time I saw it was at, don't want to dox myself, so I won't actually say the name of the theater, but the theater downtown.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
At an FNF?
Yes.
Very sick.
Yeah. I don't want to say what that is.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to identify it.
Right.
But, yeah. First time I saw that, I think was with you at that theater.
Hell yeah.
And ever since, it's been one of my favorite movies. I really like.
It's a great movie.
I think any Tarantino movie could have gone on this list. Any that I've seen. I don't think I've seen Jackie Brown is the only one I have not seen.
I have also not seen Jackie Brown. We should watch that sometime.
For sure. I mean, I like all of his other movies, so I don't see why I wouldn't like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it a lot. I really like the non-linear style of storytelling. Like, just kind of you don't really know what's going on and how this all fits together, and then you get to the end and it's like, oh shit, that's awesome. How it all kind of like weaves together, and the beginning of the movie is also the same scene as the end of the movie where they're robbing the diner.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah.
I really like all that stuff.
Tarantino is just a great director.
What's your favorite Tarantino movie?
Dang, that's hard.
He's got some good ones. I think
I almost want to say Kill Bill Volume 2, but
I like Volume 1 more. Everybody says Volume 2 is better, and I cannot fault them because Volume 2 is amazing, but I really like Volume 1.
Is Volume 1 the one with the fight scene at the end?
Yes.
It's Volume 1 that I like more than.
Yeah, where she goes to Japan.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's got that whole animated sequence for Lucy Liu's character, and then she fights all of the guys in like a karaoke bar or something?
I think so.
That's an awesome scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part 1. So I think Kill Bill probably could have also gone on here, and then also Django Unchained I really, really like. I think Jamie Foxx is super awesome in Django Unchained.
Any of those movies, all of his movies could have ended up on that list.
Reservoir Dogs. I could have put Reservoir Dogs on there. I really like that as well.
I can't remember if I left it on there or not, but I almost put The Usual Suspects on. Not a Tarantino film.
I was going to say I don't think that's Tarantino.
I almost put The Usual Suspects on there because it kind of reminds me of kind of like
I haven't seen The Usual Suspects.
Really?
I think I know the plot twist though. I think I had that spoiled for me.
That sucks.
Yeah. That's always unfortunate.
Yeah. And that's like a big part of that movie too.
Yeah. I read somewhere, again, some random article that we don't have a source for.
Of course.
That people, even though people don't want spoilers, but weirdly enough, if you hear a spoiler, that will enhance your enjoyment of the story when you watch it. Like, people have reported higher levels of enjoyment having seen a spoiler than they would have otherwise. Like, they did some kind of a test where they took, they had a control sample where they showed something.
Yeah.
I think they had them read a story. And, it was a story with a plot twist. I don't remember what it was specifically. But they had some people go in completely blind, and then they had some other people go in and they told those people the twist. And then they had the people rate their experience or their enjoyment level with the story at the end. And the people who saw the spoiler going in rated it on average higher than the people who did not see the spoiler.
Weird.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Because in my brain, anytime I see a Marvel spoiler, I'm pissed. I don't want to see that until I watch the movie.
True. Well, okay, so here's something. I think with Marvel, the spoilers you see are usually like X character shows up or somebody dies or something like that. Whereas I think if it's not really ever plot twists, it's not ever like,
true.
Whoa, I never expected this. It's more like, whoa, Wolverine's here. You know what I mean?
But still, I mean,
but if you've got a story that has like a, you know, like The Village is
oh yes,
M. Night Shyamalan movie that I'm going to spoil right now. So if you didn't see it, it's an old movie.
It's been out for such a long time if you've not seen it.
Anyway, so in that movie, you know, they've got a big twist that the village that they live in that seems like it's going to be like a 1800s or 1700s village is actually like just present in the woods in the modern day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if you heard that going in, you might be like aware of that fact and like looking for all the little details, and you'd notice the subtleties within the movie leading up to it. Like you would be able to see the foreshadowing and you appreciate the movie more as a whole because you can see more of the craftsmanship knowing the spoiler going in.
Yeah.
So even though the twist is no longer there for you, there are other parts of it that you'll enjoy more.
Interesting.
Because you saw the spoiler.
Well, I guess in that way it makes sense. It's still weird though. I don't think I think I still would want to watch it without having anything be spoiled.
You know, I actually got into Berserk. We're going to talk about Berserk every episode, probably. Because I saw a spoiler about the eclipse. That's what got me into it. Yeah, I don't know if I would have read it if I hadn't. I watched a death battle between Guts and Nightmare from Soul Calibur.
Okay.
And in it, they get into Guts' backstory. Guts, of course.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Yeah. They get into Guts' backstory and they talk all about the whole deal with the eclipse, and they get into detail with like everything that happens there and like some of the stuff that happens after him, and they talk about the Berserker armor, and I'm like, all those things are spoilers.
Right.
But I heard about them before I ever read Berserk. But hearing about them, I was like, holy shit, that sounds so cool. I gotta read this.
Yeah.
So it like made me get into it. So I don't know, maybe there's some truth to it.
Maybe there is then.
Yeah.
I don't know. It still just seems weird to me. I just don't like spoilers.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I would rather not get spoiled. But if you do happen to get spoiled,
and it's something cool like that, it might
be something that actually works out for you.
Still check it out. So I also want to talk about Blade Runner 2049 for a sec, because we both really, really like that movie. Obviously, it's.
I remember when we came out of the theater, there was somebody sitting behind us who was like, "Oh man, they just don't make sequels like they used to." And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? That's one of the best sequels I've seen in a long time." Yeah, I think I like it better than the original.
I do too, and that's why. I wanted to talk about it for that reason, because it still blows my mind that guy was like, this is a bad movie. I love that movie. It's phenomenal. It looks really good.
Oh my god, it's gorgeous. The sound design, I really like just all of the atmospheric audio that happens when he's like walking through like the grimy city streets of Los Angeles, I think is where it's set, right?
Yeah, that's Denis
Villeneuve.
Yeah, okay.
He also did Dune.
Yes, which still...
Have you seen that?
On my shelf, have not watched it yet.
Dude, I do that all the time. I'll buy a Blu-ray of a movie that I want to watch, and then it just sits on my shelf forever. I still have Uncut Gems on my shelf. Have not seen that.
Dang it.
I think I have 12 Monkeys on there, too.
I have seen 12 Monkeys. That was a weird movie.
I've heard that. That's why I bought it. Haven't watched it.
Still have not watched it.
I think there's a couple more on my shelf that I haven't seen. But
yeah.
I'll get to them one day.
Someday. But yeah, back to that. I don't know, dude. I don't know what else to say. I genuinely think it's a really good sequel, and it's a really good movie on its own. And it knocks the original out of the park easily.
Really?
Yes.
You think it's significantly better than the original?
I like the original movie, but I've seen it a few times, and I don't like to rewatch it.
Really?
I could rewatch that movie, but I don't love rewatching the first one.
All right.
I feel like...
Man,
I don't know,
maybe,
it's like
maybe
it's a little slow.
List,
I know, maybe it should have. I don't know, I feel like it's a little slower in the first movie, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know, it just I just don't like to rewatch it as much.
I really like Ryan Gosling in that movie as well.
Yeah.
He's just like me, for real. He's literally me.
He's literally just like me.
Those memes are so funny. Have you seen... I have not seen the trailer for the new Barbie movie with him and Margot Robbie.
Did they drop a trailer for it?
I don't know. I see screenshots of him and her both dressed up as Ken and Barbie. I see that all over the internet and memes. People talking about like, oh... the boys had their fun. Now it's time for the real men to go to the theater or whatever. Talking about the Barbie movie coming out.
I've seen those.
I see those memes all the time talking about Ryan Gosling, but I have not seen a trailer or like.
I don't think they've dropped a trailer yet. Just
People
like
just
behind the
set photos.
I think just behind the scenes set photos. Yeah, I'll definitely be watching that though, just out of the meme because it just seems hilarious.
Honestly.
But I mean, also Ryan Gosling's in it, and he's just a hunk, so I have to watch.
Oh yeah,
it.
for sure.
The Big Lebowski I almost put on there. On my list.
That was one that I was worried you were gonna have on there.
I last night I was finalizing my list and I was down to like 2 and I could not decide if I wanted to put the Big Lebowski in there or not, and I was like this close to putting it in there because I really like that movie. It is
when
hilarious.
I first saw it, I remember I got really into wanting to make White Russians, which is it's vodka, Kahlua, and
heavy
creamer,
cream
right?
or creamer or some sort of milk.
Yeah. So I
milk.
got really into making those because the main character
just drinks that.
just drinks that. Jeff Bridges' character just drinks that the whole time.
Yeah.
So I remember one time I watched the movie and I bought all the stuff. I went to the store and I got everything I needed.
Yeah.
And I made just a fucking bunch of White Russians as I was drinking the movie, and every time I would run out I would just go make another White Russian. I probably had like 10 of them over the course of that movie because I just kept drinking them. Dude, I was so sick. I have not had a White Russian since. I puked my guts out for like a couple hours after that movie.
Yeah, dude, I bet that is a lot of White Russians to drink, dude.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. He's drinking them through the whole movie. I tried to keep up. I couldn't do it.
Oh my gosh. Heck yeah. Do you want to talk about any more, my guy?
I don't know. Episode 3. I think that's my favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
You disagree?
I
feel you well enough to go.
I'm trying to think. I would have to agree. I like the original trilogy a lot, but I just don't watch them as much as I do with the middle trilogy. Except for episode 2, I skip that every time I watch.
Dude, episode 2 is fun. I like episode 2.
And I skip it every time I watch through, but...
Dude, okay, episode 2 has some really cool moments, alright? You got Obi-Wan versus Jango Fett. That's a sick fight.
Yeah.
You got the Geonosis battle at the end. You got Yoda versus Dooku. And Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Dooku. There's some cool shit in that movie that I enjoy.
There are some cool fight scenes. That's all I'm giving it.
Damn.
I'm not a fan, dude. I'm not a fan.
What don't you like about it?
I just don't like it that much, dude.
We're on a podcast here, dude. You can't just say an opinion and not elaborate on it. You gotta come up with some reasoning.
Let's see. I don't like the dialogue. I know that's everybody says they don't like the dialogue. And
the dialogue is bad.
It's bad. I don't like the dialogue.
It's very wooden.
Yeah, the fight scenes are cool, but I don't know. It's a little too slow.
The pacing of the movie?
The fight scenes pacing of the entire movie is a little slower than I'd like.
When's the last time you watched it?
Like a year ago?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you skipped it every time.
Well, yeah, but I was rewatching I was watching a bit of the Clone Wars, and I wanted to watch and of course I stopped that after the first season, but
classic.
I wanted to rewatch the second trilogy because I was watching through that, and I did watch the second movie, but I still just doesn't do it for me. I'd rather watch the third movie every time.
I really heavily considered putting Spider-Man 3 on my list instead of Spider-Man 2 because Spider-Man 3 is a worse movie. It's not as good as 2, but I think I watch it more often than I watch 2.
It's a fun watch. It is a very fun watch.
That's another good one to have a drink in your hand while you're watching through Spider-Man 3.
That's like the only way I watch that movie.
Dude, it's so much fun though. That dance sequence when he first gets Venom. What a dumb idea, but it's so much fun to watch.
Movie. I will say I did watch it one time not intoxicated, and I came away a little different than I normally do, because originally when I watched it, I just hated on Mary Jane the entire time, while I was drunk, but then when I watched it sober, Peter's kind of a dick in that movie.
Peter kind of sucks in those movies. In the whole trilogy across it, he's very much just like comes across as very kind of whiny and self-centered through the whole movie. Just like, oh, you have to love me because I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, come on, it's a two-way street. You gotta give and take a little bit. He just does not give.
No, not at all.
Yeah, if I have one real critique of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies is that I'm not the hugest fan of that version of Peter.
Yeah.
I think his version of Spider-Man is good, but as Peter, Tobey Maguire, and I don't think it's Tobey Maguire's fault. I think it's the writing.
I think so too.
But he's just very whiny and not all that likable as Peter Parker.
He's not supposed to be super likable, but he needs to be a little bit more for the audience.
He's supposed to be super likable. It's Spider-Man. Spider-Man's like my favorite character.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. I like him a lot more in the Ultimate Comics run than any on-screen. That was a total out of left field thing to say.
Than any on-screen?
I really like the Ultimate Comics run of Spider-Man.
I have not read all of the Ultimate Comics run, but I hear he's very, it's a very angry interpretation of the character.
Kind of, but not really. I don't think so.
Like I said, I've only read some of it, but I just remember a lot of people criticizing it for it being kind of a very hot-headed, kind of almost mean-spirited take on the character, which, I don't know, I guess you disagree with?
I disagree. That doesn't sound right at all.
I don't know. Talking out of my ass here.
Yeah.
Just going off of what I heard.
Well.
Very professional of me.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Ultimate Comics. That's my favorite Spider-Man run, is the Ultimate Comics run.
I'm gonna have to finish it. I think when I was a kid, I bought the Carnage section.
Mm-hmm.
I bought that as like a trade paperback.
Yeah.
And I read that over and over and over again as a kid, and that's all I've read of Ultimate Spider-Man. I also had the Ultimate Spider-Man video game on the GameCube.
Oh, yeah.
That was a slapper. I love the Ultimate Spider-Man video game. That was, a lot of people gush about Spider-Man 2, the video game.
Mm-hmm.
I only played that as an adult. I grew up on Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's probably nostalgia talking, but I think Ultimate Spider-Man is the better game. It's more fun.
I can't say I've ever played the Spider-Man 2 game, but I have played the Ultimate Spider-Man game on the GameCube, and that game is fire.
And you get to play as Venom.
And you get to play as Venom, which is awesome.
Super awesome.
Venom is like the coolest villain.
Yeah.
I love Venom. Venom and Carnage are the two boys.
All right, man. I can feel it's running out of gas here with my list.
I think so.
Didn't talk about everything. I think
more or less.
Back to the Future is the only one we didn't really hit on. I love Back to the Future. The whole trilogy could have gone on there. I think 2 might be my favorite, but it's as far as representation of my taste, I wanted to go with the first one.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's see yours, that dude.
All right, man. Are you ready?
All right, we got Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Logan, The Lighthouse, Interstellar, Shaun of the Dead, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, The Shining, Dragon Ball Super. Bro. You broke the rules, dude.
What did I do?
We're gonna do an anime one of these later. I said live action movies. We're gonna do
dude, those were like the first 2 movies I put on there too.
Okay, we got End of Evangelion and Dragon Ball Super Broly. Those are good picks, though.
I know. That's why I put them on there, dude.
Well, you're gonna have to come up with other ones when we do the anime one.
Brutal. Oh my god.
That was gonna be another episode later on down the line.
Well, rest in peace. They're on there anyways because they're good.
All right, shoot. Interstellar kind of surprises me a little bit.
It kind of surprised me a little bit too. I wanted to put a Nolan movie up there.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't go for The Dark Knight
or Inception because I thought about that too. But I don't know. I really like the emotion that comes out of me when I watch Interstellar.
Yeah.
Like. I always
that scene where he's getting the messages after they go down to the water planet where time is like accelerated, and then he comes back up and he's got the messages from his kids, and it's like them growing up, and he's crying.
It breaks my heart every single time I watch it.
He's so good in that movie.
Yes, and that's partially why I put it up there too, because I really like him in that movie too. He does a really good job, and also all of the planets that they go to look really cool, and the water planet is wild, dude.
Yeah, the whole concept of it. I really like the thing they do with the soundtrack where they have the clicking noise, like the tick-tock of the clock.
And it's every, 7 years?
Every tick is 7 years? Yeah. Something like that? Yeah, that's a very scary thought to think of.
Yeah.
I hope they do something like that when they adapt the end of Stone Ocean into an anime. We get that ticking noise and it slowly gets faster.
That would be sweet. That is, I think that's a ways away, bro. Unfortunately.
Well, we got the batch number 2. We're pivoting to Stone Ocean for a second here.
Yep, some JoJo.
It's releasing on Netflix as an adaptation of the manga by Hirohiko Araki.
September?
Yeah, batch number 2. So they released the first 12 episodes in December of last year, and then the second set of 12 episodes for part 6 of JoJo Stone Ocean is coming in September. I think September 1st.
Right before the JoJo game.
Yeah, because the game All-Star Battle R, the remaster, comes out on, I want to say, the 2nd or the 3rd.
I think it's the 2nd because it's the day right before my birthday.
Very excited about that.
Yeah,
but
same.
yeah, so batch 2 I think is going to go up until the end of like right before they escape.
Yeah.
And then I think we'll get batch 3, which will be the end of the series, probably about a year from now, would be my guess. Just based off of, it was 9 months between batch 1 and batch 2. I imagine it'll be a similar length between batch 2 and 3. So.
Yeah, probably, but that is
we have a ways to go.
A long ways.
I hope we get Blu-rays for it, because Netflix is weird about Blu-rays.
I mean, they've got Castlevania on Blu-ray.
Yeah, dude, season 4 comes out on Blu-ray in a couple days here.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I almost got those on Amazon Prime Day too, but I was like, I'm gonna watch it first.
Yeah, probably make sure you really are into it before you buy the Blu-rays. I did not do that with Attack on Titan, though. I bought all the Blu-rays for Attack on Titan before I even watched it.
It's a good thing Attack on Titan is a slapper of a show, dude.
Yeah, I was really a little bit worried, though, because I was like, I just dropped like $100 on the entire Blu-ray set, and then if I don't like the show, this is gonna suck. But I did like the show; it's one of my favorites, so worked out pretty well. Logan, not surprised.
Yeah. So the way I made my list is I kind of made like a desert island kind of a list almost. Like some of my favorite.
If these
movies.
were the only movies you could watch.
Yeah.
These would be the ones. Okay.
Yeah,
you got some good variety here.
Yeah. Which is also why I put the anime on there because
you gotta have a little bit of
I gotta have a little bit of anime.
Yeah, I feel
But yeah, Logan obviously has to be on there.
The Lighthouse, that's a pretty new pick as far as movies that came out pretty recently, like 2019. Right?
Yeah, I think so. 2019.
Why is that on the list?
I
mean, I love that movie too, but I just want to hear what you have to say about it.
I love the performance from both Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe.
I was correcting you. I really wanted to.
I know. Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson in that movie.
Yeah.
That monologue that Willem does.
Oh, when he says he doesn't like his seafood or something, and
he just does that one
cursing
take.
him, and yeah, that's a fantastic scene.
I love that scene. Great. And then also, I really like the
scene of Robert
ratio.
Pattinson jerking off.
Yeah, I like that part too. The aspect ratio and the black and white, I really like. Similar with the Snyder cut
of Justice League.
I really like. I don't want to watch all of my movies in like that boxed black and white ratio.
But it
is really cool.
If it serves the specific film of the director, like the look that they're going for, I think it lends it very like claustrophobic feeling of like you're kind of packed into the lighthouse with these guys.
Yeah.
And I like the aspect ratio too. The black and white as well.
It is a wild movie too. Like,
oh yeah. If it's in the Lighthouse, definitely check it out.
Yeah.
I really was thinking about putting Hereditary on my list.
Yeah,
it was going to be that or Blade Runner, and I eventually went with
good call
with Blade Runner. But Hereditary was very close to coming on my list. That's probably that's up there as far as horror movies for me.
It's a good one.
I don't know why, but I associate The Lighthouse and Hereditary as being like they're both A24, right?
I don't know if The Lighthouse is A24.
I think it is. I don't know. You got the Blu-ray there. You can check the case.
Yeah. Start talking about the next movie. It is A24.
Okay, hell yeah, I was right. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. That easily could have gone on my list. That's a fantastic one. I
love that movie. Michael Cera. I'm rewatching Arrested Development right now.
Oh yeah,
I love Michael Cera, dude. He just plays such good characters, and he's so like.
I'm trying to think of what else I've seen him in. He's in Superbad, right?
Yep, Superbad.
I like him in Superbad.
Oh, I didn't even think of Superbad.
Oh, that was another one that could have gone on this
list too. Dang. the style of Scott Pilgrim versus the World is something I really
just
like.
The visual representation of everything is kind of like a video game.
The video gaming thing. Yeah, I really like that.
Really solid adaptation of the comic book that's based on.
I would really like to read the comic book because I heard that the ending is different in the comic book.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't read it either.
No.
Fake comic book fan as usual.
We're losers over here, dude. Not reading everything. Shaun of the Dead obviously had to go on there.
I would have picked Hot Fuzz. I would have gone for Hot Fuzz as my favorite of that trilogy.
So I like Hot Fuzz a lot. I watched Shaun of the Dead way more growing up.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that definitely plays a factor.
It's just got that spot.
Hot Fuzz, absolutely. I'm seeing so many of these movies, and I'm like thinking of ones that I would have put on mine. Hot Fuzz absolutely should have gone on my list. I love Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz is so funny.
Is that your favorite Edgar Wright movie then?
I think so. Yeah.
All right.
The End of the World one with the aliens is good.
I haven't seen that one.
It's good. I like it. It's not as good as Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, but it's still a solid movie.
Gotcha.
It's fun to watch. Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
That's a classic.
I could not put that on there either because that's another one that I just grew up watching and absolutely shaped my view on comedy, and I kind of want to rewatch it.
I rewatched it not too long ago with my little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very fun to see his reaction to it.
I bet. Yeah.
A lot of it he did not get.
Neither did I when I was watching it when I was little too.
I think I watched it, I was really young the first time I watched it, and the biggest thing that stood out to me was the scene with the rabbit, where they go and like mauls everybody.
Yeah. The rabbit just goes all AWOL and just murders everyone.
Yeah, it's a fantastic scene.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that freaked me out as a kid. I used to get freaked out by the most random shit as a kid.
Seriously?
Like stuff that was not scary. I remember I saw this Yu-Gi-Oh book,
mm-hmm.
and it was like just little bios of all the different characters in Yu-Gi-Oh,
mm-hmm.
and I don't even remember what they were called. It was two characters that wore like masks,
mm-hmm.
and it was like a smiling face. Dude, those guys scared me.
Seriously?
Yeah. I don't know why, but looking at those guys freaked me out when I was a kid, when I was like 6 or 7.
That's hilarious.
Just dudes wearing it's like a green mask with a smiley face on it. It's not even a very scary looking mask, but
weird.
It used to freak me out, man.
Do
you have any weird things that you were scared of?
Yeah, so one of the movies I was going to put on here was Spirited Away.
Oh, yeah.
Because I like that movie too. I'm glad I didn't because I can save that for the animated movie.
Yeah.
But the scene at the very beginning of the movie where her parents turn into pigs.
Yeah.
Bro, that gave me nightmares for, I'm not kidding, years after I watched that. I'm not kidding. It scared the hell out of me.
Man.
And it still, honestly, scares me a little bit to this day. Not as bad, and like I can watch it and be fine, but
right.
It's still a little bit like, ooh, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's so weird the stuff you get freaked out by when you're a kid. It's
Yeah.
like stuff that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. The Mummy was another one that scared the hell out of me when I was little too.
Dude, I love The Mummy.
That was a movie I almost put on
That
my
was
list
one
too.
where I was really scared to watch it as a
Yep.
kid, and then when I watched it, it was not that bad.
Oh, well, it was the opposite for me. I was scared.
Really?
Yeah, it scared me.
That and Predator. I had this thing where,
Ooh.
like, as a kid, I was allowed to watch some R-rated movies.
Mhm.
I don't know why, because, like...
Well, your parents now don't let your brothers, your
no, I
siblings
don't know.
watch
It was
anything.
like a weird. It was like a weird curve with my parents, where they're like, when I was a little kid, I was watching all kinds of crazy stuff, like like Austin Powers and Predator and stuff like that. But then, when my little siblings started to get a little bit older, they were not allowed to watch stuff, and then like I was retroactively disallowed to watch those things until I got old enough to actually watch them. So it was like, I could watch them, and then like my siblings came around, so I couldn't, and then I was old enough, so I could. And it was like,
sucks.
it was very strange, like period of a couple years in my childhood where I was like, you let me watch this before, why can't I watch it again?
I just want to watch Austin Powers Goldmember one more time.
I don't know why I was allowed to watch Austin Powers. I remember one time.
Nuts.
I remember one time I was talking about it. Like, I don't remember what the context was, but I was talking about it to a group of people when my parents were there. I think it was maybe like a party or something.
Sure.
And I was talking about Fat Bastard. And I just whipped that out in the middle of, like, without any context. I was saying something about fat bastard, and my dad was like, don't say that. Don't say that.
Oh, Mike Myers in those movies is so funny, dude. I almost put Shrek on there, too.
Oh, yeah, that could have been a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen The Shining once, and that might have been enough for me.
Are you not a fan?
No, I love it. I like it a lot. It's a very long movie.
Yeah.
And, it's a very uncomfortable movie to watch.
It's a very uncomfortable movie to watch, but
That's the same with Hereditary. I've only seen Hereditary once, but I bought the Blu-ray, and I'm just like...
I like that uncomfortableness.
Did you know that Stephen King apparently does not like The Shining? Yeah. And he did his own version of it. This is a lot worse, but it's more faithful to the book.
Oh, the TV movie?
Yeah, like a TV movie.
I think I have the TV movie somewhere, but I've not seen it.
Oh.
No, but I did know that he hated the movie adaptation, which sucks because
Kubrick made a better movie than he did.
I love it, dude. It's such a good movie. And then, Dr. Sleep was also really good. The sequel.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just looking at our time.
Oh yeah, it's still going. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Sleep was solid.
Yeah.
It's always weird when you get a sequel to something so many years later.
Yeah.
But it's quite good.
Yeah.
I like Dr. Sleep.
It wasn't as good of a sequel as 2049, Blade Runner 2049.
Right.
But it was still a solid sequel.
Very few things are.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like feeling uncomfortable, and like at the end when it pans up to the picture and Jack is in like the
that gives me chills every time. That's crazy.
The goosebumps on that is insane.
All right, they're not allowed to be on this list, but I guess we can talk about some anime.
I love them. So I put Super on there for one big reason. That is basically what got me into anime. And
manga. You want to tell the story of why what happened there?
So when did that come out? Like 2018?
I want to say 2018. Yeah.
So in 2018 we had a thing called a Movie Pass.
Oh my gosh, we get the Movie Pass a little bit.
Which was like what, $10 a month, and you could go watch as many movies as you wanted in a week.
Yeah, needless to say, that company went bankrupt. They're no longer a company.
But one day while we were at work, we were trying to figure out what to do after work, and we were like, "Do you want to watch a movie?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure." And so we just decided to go watch Broly because we could go watch any movie we wanted.
Neither of us were Dragon Ball fans at the time. Neither of us had seen Dragon Ball.
But we were like, why not? Let's give it a see. Let's give it a watch. And we watched it, and
I think after we went to the theater that night, he went to the bookstore and we bought the first couple volumes of the Dragon Ball manga.
And then over that next month, I just bought all of Dragon Ball Z, and then I started Super, and I just read the entire thing.
And then lent them to me,
and then lent them to you, and you read the whole thing. And then that got me into JoJo, Berserk. Then we watched Devilman Crybaby together.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
That was like one of my first actual animes that I ever watched. And that is a wild one. Devilman Crybaby is very good.
Yeah, very different from the manga, which I'm reading through right now. You didn't read.
I haven't read the second
half.
Volume,
yeah. It's really weird. They do a lot of like more of that time travel stuff.
It's kind of goofy.
Yeah, it's very silly. But then like all of a sudden it just takes a left turn into the same ending as in Crybaby. So it's like, we're going on a goofy like 60s Monster of the Week adventure, and then it's like, okay, I guess Go Nagai was just like, I'm kind of tired of this. Let's end it in a super depressing way. Yes, like it's just a pivot out of nowhere into the apocalypse. It's insane.
That's kind of what I was wondering, because like it's so different from the anime adaptation. I was wondering if it was going to have a different ending, but that is hilarious that it is like the same. Yeah,
pretty much the same ending, but just like you just kind of get there out of nowhere. It doesn't feel like it's as well built up to. I think losing my mouth here. I think that Devilman Crybaby is honestly better than the manga so far. I'm enjoying
the anime is better than the manga.
Yeah. That's a rare one for me, but I think it's better.
It's a good anime, and the animation is really good too.
It's a very weird style. I rewatched it actually a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. The art style is super strange, but it's good.
I like it.
It's very fluid and like clean feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so Dragon Ball Super Broly, that's the gateway drug into anime. If you haven't seen anime, watch that one, and hopefully you'll get into shonen, because
it is It's a fun movie to watch too, because that fight scene.
It's the whole second half of the movie. It's just a big fight.
It's just a big giant fight scene, and they go into
which is kind
some
of how
parallel dimension kind of thing. It's sick.
A lot of shonen movies are like that.
Yeah.
Where it's just like the first half of the movie is set up for the second half, which is a big fight scene.
Just a big giant battle.
Pretty much every shonen movie I've seen is like that, but it's good. That's what you're there for.
Yeah.
You want to see that fight at the end of the movie.
You want to see the big fight scene, and the animation goes hard too. It is.
Oh yeah,
it is good.
They had some budget going for that one.
I'm pretty stoked for superhero actually. I've been seeing some.
That's going to be all in CGI, right?
I think so. I've seen some
interesting take,
some like
choice,
some pictures and stuff, and some information about it. It's looking like it's going to be pretty sweet. Piccolo gets a whole new form.
Really? Oh yeah, because he turns like orange or something. I think I saw a picture of that too.
Yeah, he turns orange.
I guess they got to come up with some way to keep all of those characters relevant, because as of right now, they're just in the dust behind Goku and Vegeta.
They're so OP.
Did you watch that fan-made film?
Not yet.
Man, you got to watch that after this.
It's good.
It's like 10, 11 minutes.
Yeah, it's not super long.
It's got better animation than I think the entire show has. Not quite as good as the movies.
Yeah.
But better than any of the animation in the TV show.
Dang, I'll have to look at it. It's
nuts. Very, very cool.
Okay, hell yeah.
All right, end of Evangelion.
The most depressing thing on this list.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. The Lighthouse is close.
Yeah, yeah. Neon Genesis Evangelion hits a little different.
Yeah. I just recently rewatched that actually with my little brother as well. We watched through he just stayed over for a weekend and we watched through the entirety of the TV show Neon Genesis Evangelion, and then we watched End of Evangelion and the first two Rebuild movies. We still haven't seen 3.0 or 3.0 plus 1.0. I don't know why they didn't just call it 4.0.
So
you think it's because like 4 is like a bad luck number in Japanese?
Maybe.
That's why Mista and JoJo
doesn't like 4? Maybe, dude.
I think that's got to be it, because he's like, I really don't want to jinx this last movie, so we're just going to call it 3.
But the last one is really good.
Well, yeah, because he didn't name it 4.
Right, true. If he would have named it 4, it would have been bad.
Yeah. Which ending do you prefer? Do you like End of Evangelion more, or the fourth Rebuild movie?
I think I like End of Eva more.
Because it's sadder?
It's because it's sadder, and I don't know, I really like the Rebuild movies, but... And I watched them all like back to back, so it's not like I watched that 10 years ago and I just recently watched the Rebuild movies. No. But I don't know, I prefer everything about the original series more than the Rebuild movies. I love the Rebuild movies, don't get me wrong, but I just prefer everything about the original series and the movie. I don't know what it is, but that like 80s, 90s animation style is so awesome. Cowboy Bebop is next on the list.
That's another one you started but have not finished.
But I'm gonna finish it this time. I
haven't seen the Cowboy Bebop movie because there's the show and then there's a movie that's set like before the ending of the show.
I almost bought that for my PSP because they had a PSP.
Oh, the movie player.
Yeah, I almost got it, but I was like, it was like $60. I was like, I'm not.
You're probably better off just buying a normal Blu-ray of that one.
Yeah, I think so.
Having to watch it on your tiny PSP screen.
Right. But yeah, 90s animation like that, it just
it hits different, dude.
It hits different.
Yeah, I like the 90s. It's because it's all hand done. That was before they had any kind of computer assistance.
Right.
It's got a really nice look to it.
Yeah.
Very grainy, like a physical feeling.
Yeah.
Super nice.
Gosh, Eva is so good, dude. And obviously I've got the shirt on today.
Shirt.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Would you say that Logan is your favorite superhero movie? Because I don't know if Spider-Man 2 is my favorite superhero movie. I think it's just most representative.
So that was another thing I was trying to think about too, because I love superhero movies. I'm a big superhero guy. I've got one superhero movie on this list.
Yeah, I purposely was like, we can have one for the list, but I don't want to put a bunch on there.
Yeah.
Because
and
I could have put a few on, but I wanted to limit it.
So I was gonna decide between Logan, the first Deadpool, and Into the Spider-Verse.
Right.
But I don't know. I get more out of Logan than the other two movies.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Kind of.
Yeah. No. It's a very
It's
This is going to be a weird way to
culmination.
phrase it, but you feel very full after watching it.
Yes.
Like I'm satisfied. I got the full experience of watching this movie. I don't know how else to phrase it. It's kind of a weird way to put it, but
I know. Yeah, that's
I feel like it's the movie equivalent of eating a very big meal of like, I got everything I wanted out of this.
Yeah. And it's the end of Hugh Jackman's and Patrick Stewart's run in those characters' roles, and they just do a great job. The acting in the movie is really good. I don't know. I think Logan probably is my number one, next to probably The Dark Knight as a close number 2.
All right. Yeah, that's respectable. I can get behind that.
Yeah. Rip all the MCU movies, but I don't know. I like the
I think the MCU is very consistent in its quality.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like it never goes below a certain threshold, but it also never really goes above a certain threshold. It's very consistently like better than average.
Yeah.
But it's rare for it to get really, truly fantastic. It's also rare for it to get really, truly bad. It's just kind of everything floats in that kind of Goldilocks zone of like, it's all pretty solid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if there was an MCU movie that you would put as like the best MCU movie that could potentially have gone on the list, what would you go for that? We might do like an MCU tier list at some point, so I don't want to get into it too much, but
dang, I don't know. My top 3 would probably be No Way Home, Endgame, and Infinity War, but I don't know which one I would put on the top of that. I'm thinking maybe Endgame.
I think I'd go for Infinity War.
Yeah, you and Isaiah both like Infinity War more than Endgame. I don't know. I really liked Endgame.
I really liked Endgame too, but on rewatch, I think it suffers a little bit because it's not a surprise anymore.
True.
And a lot of the movie is just doesn't have as much going on as you would remember. Like the big fight at the end is kind of like the big thing that like you always remember, but most of it up until that point is just like finding rocks.
Yeah,
it's not like a whole lot happening, and it's very cool the first time you watch it because it's like, oh, I remember that movie. They go back to New York and they go back to all these places that you've seen before in the other movies. But on rewatch, it's still really good, but it's so long, and I think the pacing suffers a little bit from that like first
3
section.
hours long.
Yeah. So Infinity War, I also just really like the way Infinity War ends. That was a very bold choice for the MCU. Of the snap.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, so I would say Infinity War is probably my favorite one.
Nice.
But it didn't go on the list.
Yeah, well, because they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
I think that's going to do it for this episode, unless you've got something else.
Have you watched Miss Marvel yet?
Oh, yeah, we can talk about Miss Marvel a little bit. Let's actually not end the podcast like I was going to. We're only at like 52 minutes, so we can go a little longer.
Talk about this for a second.
What, you got a different background for us? We got our boy Gyro. All right, very nice. Read part 7.
Part 7, fantastic. So, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about both of the episodes? Because there were 6
episodes? Yeah, episode 5, it was alright. I think the whole show was pretty good.
Yeah.
I really liked, and they really focused in on this, was the dynamic of her family and her culture. And
I thought that was really cool.
You really don't get to see a lot of, like, Pakistani Muslim Americans.
Anywhere.
And that kind of culture, and like the going to the mosque and like the festivals that they have, and like what their celebrations are like, and going to a wedding within that culture. You don't really see that in anything. Like I've basically had no exposure to that in my life, being a very sheltered white boy.
Yeah, same.
But it was very cool to see. I found that all very interesting. But it did feel like the show was really more interested in talking about that stuff than it was in talking about. Not talking about, but in showing superhero stuff. You know what I mean? It was like much more felt like a showcase of that culture and that lifestyle and her family and, you know, the characters within that, and much less about like whatever was going on the superhero side of things. Because that aspect of it, the superhero stuff itself, was kind of weak to me. Like the villains were kind of just nothing, you know?
Didn't really care. When, what's her name? The lady got sucked into the... Najma or whatever. I felt nothing. I was just like, okay, she's gone.
Because the bad guys were just like, one episode, hey, here we are, we're here to help you, we come from this dimension, and then they're like, can you help us open the portal back to our dimension? She's like, yeah, I'll help you. I got a thing going on today, but I'll help you out tomorrow. And they're like, we're going to kill you.
Yeah.
You're fucking dead. You can't wait one day for us.
What the hell?
It just felt like so out of nowhere. And then they show up and they're just like normal people with like a big weapon. Like they had all kinds of like magic weapons that were never like really zeroed in on it all. They just kind of had them.
Right.
And and then none of them except for that one main lady really ended up mattering.
Right. Yeah,
because then they just chase her through Pakistan, and then 2 of them die, and we don't really see what happens to the other ones because they're not in the show again.
Yeah.
And then the kid Cameron. Yeah. He's like weirdly flippy floppy. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like,
the villains and superheroing aspect of the show was pretty weak for me.
Yeah,
it felt like they weren't as concerned with telling that story as they were with representing the character's heritage, which I think was fine. I enjoyed all of that stuff.
I'm glad that they put it in there.
I just would have also appreciated if they'd put a little bit more attention on the superheroing, because that aspect of the show was it was just kind of there.
Yeah. It was there because it's a superhero show. I do really like the minimum that they put in.
Yeah, I did really like. Oh man, what's Iman Vellani? Is that the name of the actress?
Oh, yeah, that plays Miss Marvel.
Yeah, that plays Miss Marvel. Yep. I really, really liked her as Miss Marvel. I think that was a very solid casting choice. Yeah. And I really like the costume she gets in the last episode.
It's so sweet.
Yeah, it's very cool. I wish she had had it a little earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
How did her mom make it like that too?
It was very professional superhero suit, I guess. Yeah, I don't know how she made it, because if you compare it to the quality of the Hulk costume she made earlier, it's very different.
Very different.
I don't know. She got help from.
She got really talented, really fast.
Yeah,
she watched some YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's all you need. Just watch a couple of tutorial videos on YouTube.
But dude, what did you think about the mutant review with the little sound bite too?
Cool. But also, isn't she an Inhuman in the comics?
Yeah, but Kevin Feige did say that they were changing her origin story.
Well, they changed her powers too. So.
Right. So, I don't mind that she's not an Inhuman. I don't care for the Inhumans as much as I care for the mutants. I like the X-Men more.
Definitely. But also, I feel some of that probably has to do with the MCU's handling of it too, as well, right? Because like I didn't really know who or care anything about the Guardians of the Galaxy before the MCU.
True.
But the MCU made me like them. So if we just have not had any good representation of the Inhumans in anything.
Well, not even just in like the show was terrible.
Right. The
Inhuman show was terrible. But like even in the comic books, I prefer the X-Men over the Inhumans. The Inhumans are cool, and like I'm sure that as a MCU movie or a show, it would be really cool because I do like those characters. But the fact that they changed her from an Inhuman to a mutant doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me either. Again, this is me being a fake fan of comic books. I haven't read any of Miss Marvel's comics.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, any changes that they made honestly didn't bother me all that much.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people pissed off about it, but
it's the same effect. Yeah. I think being an Inhuman back. Weird little interruption. So Miss Marvel being a mutant instead of an Inhuman, not a big deal. I also don't think it's a big deal that they changed her powers. It does the same thing. It's just like Green Lantern-y instead of Mr. Fantastic-y.
Right.
It's kind of the same thing. You think they changed that because Mr. Fantastic is going to be joining soon, and they don't want 2 stretchy powered characters joining like at the same time as each other?
Maybe, yeah, because they are their powers do seem very similar.
So just make hers, since she's the smaller of the 2 characters,
change it a little different.
Yeah.
Well, they can't really change Mr. Fantastic even if they wanted to either. His power is kind of like you can't really change it, so they had to change one of them.
So, but it is cool to hear the word mutant in the MCU. I did enjoy that, even though I guess we got Professor X in Multiverse of Madness, so we already kind of had.
I'm curious as to
confirmation
as to what they're gonna do with mutants in the MCU. Like, are they gonna have who are they gonna have play Professor X? Because I can't imagine they're gonna have Patrick Stewart do it.
Probably not. Yeah, I don't know. They'll cast somebody.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find a bald guy out there.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that you would want to cast as Professor
Vin Diesel, dude? He's bald. He likes family.
No.
Oh yeah, Vin Diesel as Professor X. You heard it here, folks.
Okay, yeah, that's our prediction. Vin Diesel's gonna be Professor X.
Oh my gosh, that would be horrible.
X.
I don't know who. I mean, I really liked. What's his name?
I don't know.
That played Professor X.
James McAvoy.
I really like James McAvoy.
Yeah, I don't know if
Professor
they'll
X.
want to bring back any of those actors,
Right.
because of like not wanting to associate with that
Confusing
continuity
and
or
stuff.
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder what they're going to do with Deadpool, because he's seems like they're just bringing him right in, which I think works for that character because you can do some like
You
meta
can
stuff
do
with it. But
a lot of stuff like that. I think they probably will just bring him in, and maybe via the Multiverse of Madness. Like,
what are you talking about? They already did that.
No,
movie.
no, but like have him had jumped over somehow during that movie. We just didn't see it.
I don't know. I think
Or-
they would have done that in a post-credit scene of that movie if that was how they were going to do it.
Maybe.
I think they talked about having him in that movie, but they thought it would like mess with the tone, and they didn't want him to.
I saw an article.
Okay.
And it was like posters of him
Mm-hmm.
in the movie. I didn't look like he was actually going to be in it. It was like billboards that they walked through, like a dimension,
Mm-hmm.
and it was covered in like Deadpool stuff. I think.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't
That
know if he
would've
was
been
going to
cool.
be actually.
Remember
in it
when
or
we
not.
thought that Deadpool was in the poster for Multiverse of Madness in the little glass
Yeah,
shard?
the
And it's
little
like
glass
you zoom
shard.
way in, and you can see like, oh, it kind of looks like Deadpool in there.
And he wasn't in the movie.
No, he was not in the movie. I think it's fine though. He didn't need to be.
No. It would have been cool to see him, but I think the movie did fine without him.
Right. So
Yeah.
the other thing is Captain Marvel showing up at the end.
What happened with that?
They like swapped places.
Yeah. I don't know.
I assume that's what happened there.
Right.
I like Captain Marvel's new costume. I thought that was
Very
cool
sweet.
with the forearms exposed. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I'm looking forward to their team up though, because I think
Yeah.
those two characters have a fun
Next July.
play off of each other. Next July, that's when the Marvels movie
That's when
comes
the
out.
movie comes out, yeah.
Yeah, I think Captain Marvel is underrepresented in the MCU.
I
like
agree.
the only really thing that we have her in is her solo movie, which a lot of people didn't like.
Yeah.
And then she just has little cameos here and there in a lot of other movies, but we don't ever get to see like. I have not gotten enough time to like her
Yeah.
as a character, and I want to because Captain Marvel's very cool.
Right.
But I just feel like we haven't had enough time with her for me to be attached to that character at all in the MCU.
No.
So I would like to be.
And she kind of acts a little different in each thing that she's
Yeah,
in,
it's like
too.
writers don't know for sure what they want to do with her.
Right.
I think they probably are trying to make her more likable. Like that's
Right.
probably something that they're worried about because so many people did not like her in the first movie that she was
Kind
in.
of like a Thor situation.
Yeah, I don't know if they necessarily need to go that goofy style with
No.
her as they did with him.
But I'm saying, like, people didn't like him.
Yeah,
in
but
his first two
you got to
movies.
reboot the character, kind of
Yeah.
a soft reboot to the personality a little bit, because I think the problem that people have with Captain Marvel is that she's just very cocky and arrogant, and like she knows that she's the best at what she does, and
Yeah.
she has never in the series had anybody disprove that notion.
Right.
Whereas with Thor, he's kind of been humbled kind of over and over again throughout the series. And He's
Yeah.
been really kind of deconstructed as a character. But with her, she's just like, yeah, I'm the most powerful. And everybody's like, yeah, I guess she is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. So you have a really arrogant character like that who is the most powerful and who has really never been challenged all that much. Even Thanos, I mean,
Yeah.
he like punches her with the Infinity Stone, but then
She's
that's
kind
like,
of kicking his ass,
yeah.
too.
So I don't know. I guess just she probably needs to have some kind of a humbling experience, or maybe some kind of a like a mentor type of experience with Ms.
Yeah.
Marvel would be cool. There's several ways you could do it, but I think Marvel definitely needs to rehabilitate the character a little bit just to get more people on her side.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike her as much as most people dislike her. Most people, I don't know what I've just heard
I've heard a lot of bad things,
a lot
too.
of bad things about Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
So they got to do something, but I think there's a lot of ways they could do it.
I liked her solo movie. It's not the best thing that
I really
MCU
liked
has to
her
offer,
interaction
but
with
it was
Sam
good.
Jackson with
Yeah.
Nick Fury in that.
Yeah.
I think those two have a cool rapport. I hope he shows up in the
That would
Marvel's
be sweet.
movie.
I like Sam Jackson in the MCU a lot.
Yeah, he's great. I think he did an interview recently where people were like, "Why do you keep doing these movies?" And he's like, "Because it's more fun than
Yeah.
some of the other stuff people are doing."
And
so
he's
why
not like most of the time he shows up. It's like a quick little cameo kind of thing. He's not
Right.
in the movie for
He's
a
probably
long
making
time.
bank off of it anyway.
Yeah, why not
Yeah.
keep doing it? Everybody likes seeing him too, so
Honestly,
may as well keep going.
yeah. So Miss Marvel was pretty solid. I
Yeah.
think overall the show was kind of mid tier.
Mhm.
Had some enjoyable moments, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of her in the MCU.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
All All right, are we gonna call it now?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, man. That's been the Big and Stuff podcast. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Adios.